lot of fun here in the kitchen. So the vegetable casserole we're making today is low in fat, high in flavor, and so simple to make. We're back here with cooking instructor Heidi Lang. We're talking about these heavy-duty pots.
Yes, we've brought today some Dutch ovens to show you. We're making a Moroccan tagine, which is traditionally made in this sort of a cylinder. It's a very high thing, and it takes up a lot of space on your shelves and in the oven.
But is that something I need to register for?
No. That's what I was just going to say. You don't need to register for that, and that's why we've brought some Dutch ovens with us instead, because these are ceramic and a cast iron base, actually, and then ceramic, and they're perfect conductors for heat. So they're great on the stove, but also can go right in the oven.
They're really heavy, too.
They're really, really heavy, yeah.
I'm pretty sure my mom has had one for about 30 years.
And it will outlive her if she takes care of it and doesn't have tomato acidic things on the bottom for long periods of time. So so we decided that that would be a great way to make. So this is a smaller one. We're going to start making this tagine in this larger one. So I started with the onions. We already have them glassy because we'll never finish this if we just wait for a while to get all glassy. So here are the onions, and what we're going to do is we're going to add the spices to it. So we've got some cinnamon. You'd like to add?
Really?
We're adding some cinnamon. If you want to add a teaspoon, and then we're going to add turmeric. Now, I think I've mentioned this before, and if it's a little bit over, I put a little bit more in. If it's a little bit over, that's okay. Oh, I should put the oven. It would always help, Heidi, if you put the stove on. And then we're going to put some turmeric.
Turmeric.
Yes, now turmeric, I may have mentioned this before when we made a Middle Eastern dish, is actually, this is what it looks like. It's a mustard color. Doesn't actually have much flavor. People think it does, but it adds color, as you can see from the finished product. Look at that gorgeous color. It also has anti-inflammatory properties, so a lot of cultures that don't have, round-the-clock care or outpatient care take it to help with things like arthritis.
No kidding,
as a preventive measure. Because it really does have a lot of anti-cancer properties and things like that. So we're just going to add a little more oil because this pot is a little dry. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper.
So this is kind of the base of our...
This is the base. We've just, as I said, we got the onions going before we started. We're going to add a little pepper. And now we're going to add the vegetables. Now,
that smells great.
Doesn't that smell wonderful? And that's the thing about this kind of food. It's like making Indian food. It just smells up the whole house. And it makes a very warm feeling. And I thought what's really great about, so I'm adding the butternut squash. We've got 4 cups of butternut squash here, And if that's about probably 2 to 3 pounds of butter squash. If you want to cheat, guys, and buy it already cut,
that's
I won't
allowed,
tell anybody.
Because I've seen it in the grocery store pre-done.
Yeah, and it's really a pain to seed and to slice. You need a very, very sharp knife. So if you don't have a sharp knife and you want to make a dish like this, by all means, go ahead and buy it sliced. Of course, it's always better to slice your vegetables yourself, like anything else. But I always say in classes that we would rather somebody make something from scratch and take a little shortcut than not do it at all.
There you go.
So now we've got beautiful organic carrots that we're adding to this. Mix this around. Oh, and I almost forgot the most important thing. We're going to add some ginger. And we're going to talk a little bit about the saffron. So mix this around.
How do you prepare the ginger like that? You use like a...
Here, we slice
I don't even know the word. The thing that does the potatoes?
A vegetable slicer, Teresa, you're getting married.
I know. I'm learning. I'm taking it all in, Heidi.
Unless the butler comes with
That's
the
not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
So we put this a little bit in here, and I'm going to add a little bit here, a little saffron. Now, here's the saffron, Now,
this is pricey saffron,
This is really pricey. This can run up to $100 an ounce, and I'll show you what an ounce looks like. Not a lot. But this will last, even for me, who teaches lots of classes, a year. So you can only buy a small amount, and a great place to buy that are Indian grocery stores, Middle Eastern grocery stores. You can buy it online, and you always want to put a little warm water in it to reconstitute it. You'll see how it turns orange. And that sort of, it's just like when you toast almonds or walnuts, kind of brings them alive. So we're going to throw that in, and wait till you smell this. Sorry, guys at home, you can't smell it.
No, but take our word on it. It's
take our word. And the other thing that's so great about this stew is that it's healthy.
There's not too much fat. A little bit of olive oil.
2 tablespoons of olive oil. That's it. So we're going to give this a good mix. And then we're going to add a cup of broth.
Okay.
Okay? And once we add this cup of broth, we're not going to add the potatoes quite yet because sweet potatoes. Oh, I forgot to add the tomatoes. I was wondering why this was so dry. See, even people who cook a lot make mistakes like that sometimes. The tomatoes will help moisten it too. And then we're only adding a cup of broth. Whoopsies.
Oh, Heidi, you're getting messy in here.
What the heck? We'll take care of that later. We're adding a cup of broth.
Okay.
And
is
then
it beef broth, chicken, or does it
chicken
not matter?
Broth.
Chicken.
Now, if you have vegetarian friends, by all means, use vegetarian. Yeah. Well, you can either not invite them if you make this and use chicken broth, or you can use vegetable broth or water.
Okay, very good.
I always prefer even when recipes say water, I tend to use some sort of broth just to give it a little more flavor.
Right?
I just think flavor is so important. In fact, it can be a problem when you're used to eating a lot of flavor. This has a lot of flavor as it is, so if you don't have broth in the house or you don't want to make it, by all means. So we're going to cover this.
Okay.
So we'll just cover this for a minute, and then once this comes to a boil, we will let it simmer.
About how long does this
We're going to let this simmer 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're going to add these potatoes. These are sweet potatoes right here.
So they take a little less time.
They do. It depends on, these are cut a little bit thick, so they'll take a little bit longer. So actually, as soon as this boils, I'm going to add these because it depends on how thick. If you cut them a little thinner, the trick when you make this is to make sure the vegetables don't get mushy.
Okay.
So here is the final product, as you can see.
That looks like, do you have fruit in there?
We do.
Of some sort?
What we've done is we've added some craisins.
Oh, craisins are great with everything, right?
Aren't they? And you can also add, as you can see on this plate here, I put some pomegranate seeds, which are now much easier to get. You can buy them at stores like Trader Joe's and places like that. You can buy them because to extract them yourself,
It's a pain in the neck.
Oh, very much so. And again, you know, when you're cooking, it doesn't matter sometimes the time you spend on certain things, it's the product that you care about.
Sure.
So pomegranate seeds are not worth the labor.
Got it.
So we're going to sprinkle a couple more in here. And when you serve this, it's a great thing to serve with couscous.
Oh,
so,
that's good. Now, will this be a lunch, a dinner? It really could be
It could
either,
be a
right?
side dish.
Side, sure.
If you're a vegetarian, this is a great basis for a dinner or lunch. And we often serve it with some yogurt.
I love it. Heidi, we're just about out of time.
That's great.
From the Fig Cooking School, we can look you up online.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks so much for feeding us.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be here, Teresa. Thank you.
All right, up next, motivational coach Lois Bartha tells us how to stress less and love more. When style returns, don't go anywhere.